This is Mark Whitten.
This is Adam MacArthur.
This is Ann Yatko.
This is Molly Chung.
Hey everybody, this is Michael Yurchak.
This is Daquan Wilshire.
This is Lexi Nieto.
This is Rico Fajardo, and you're watching.
And you're listening to Spoiler Force Podcast. Set your heart ablaze.
All right, so this is episode 168 of Spoiler Force Podcast. My name is Ricky. Thank you for tuning in. This week's guest is my cousin Michael, art by Kouki, coming back on the show again. We are reviewing the second half, the second season, the second core of The Witch from Mercury, the latest Mobile Suit Gundam anime that dropped last year. If you go back to the archives of Spoiler Force, you'll see the Witch from Mercury season 1 review that we did. Hopefully this one won't be as long as the first one, because I know with the first episode or the first review that we did was, we were breaking down like everything from that first half because it was just so good. And now
there was a lot of theories and a lot to unpack. So
exactly. So like it was a lot of theory crafting in that episode, but now everything's been answered in the second half. Hopefully we won't like diverge too long. But either way, this was a great topic to talk about. I don't want to say it so early on the podcast, but man, just
let it out, and we can talk about what we liked. And
I'll address this first because outside, Bobby, Lynn, and one of their friends is watching The Witch from Mercury in English dub, and they just got done watching the prologue in the first episode, and I was just looking at like how good it was when it started.
Oh man,
like watching the prologue again and understanding, everything, after consuming this whole season, going back to the prologue and just understanding what was happening in full context now, instead of like what is this, what is happening, who is this, who is that. I was just like,
they're watching it right now.
Yeah, they're watching it right now, but I was just like why, why was last week's episode just...
It wasn't just last week's episode. It was the last 3 episodes. Everything was just rushed. It was rushed. It was exactly what I was afraid of. You and I talked about this. I'm just like, I think this is the first like Gundam series that is not the typical like 48 to 50 episodes.
That too.
So
and, like Bobby was telling me, like most Gundam endings are similar to this too, like where it's a happy ending, I guess. Like the war is resolved, there's no more conflict type of deal. But I don't know. I mean, I don't mind that. It's just like you said. It's just, I guess, in that amount of time that they've given us, how how quickly it was resolved versus like, expanding it again with like, imagine we had 20 more episodes to expand more into like the corporate side of things, or like more dive deeper into Prospera, and I don't know, there's a lot more we could touch upon, which we probably will later on. But overall, Michael, aside from our rant later in this episode, what did you think of the show overall?
I mean, honestly, it's hard to not like... Okay, I'm gonna preface this. I've been the biggest stan for this show. You know this. I've been trying to get everyone on board, watch the show. You go watch the season 1 Spoiler Force episode. You'll hear me telling you, go watch it. It's like you're in. Even as someone as like, who would die on that hill, it's hard to overlook the elephant in the room, which is it was rushed, and things just... I get where Bobby's coming from, saying that like, most of them do end, in a happy ending, but this wasn't just like a happy ending. It was kind of more like a
plot armor,
kind of like plot armor. It's just they wrapped it up. Anyways, having said that, there were a lot of great moments, and I genuinely can't overlook them, and we can get into some of those specific moments, but the reveals, the character development, a lot of callbacks and parallels to events that happened in season 1 that kind of like come full circle to show how much some of the characters have have developed. And I'll say this, I don't hate the ending. So overall, I think it was still pretty solid. Though it left me very very disappointed, the ending. So
Yeah, I thought overall the show was it was good. Okay, like the way again how we hyped up this first half, you can't deny that first half of the show was phenomenal. It was so good.
mhm.
And then even like the second half of even the second half of the show, like pretty much from like episodes what like
You mean like
13.
you mean like the first half of the second season?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I worded it like that, but yeah, it's but like up to the point where they all kind of like team up together and go challenge Prospera. Like up to that point, even that was good, And
Yeah.
the, this show, I mean, from like just the actors to the music to the animation, everything was pretty solid, man. Like that again, these last like the finale doesn't take away from how good the show was overall.
Oh yeah, not at all.
It's just, man, I guess I was just left like I guess emptied. I don't know. I can't describe it, but just it's just like I guess I wanted something more out of that ending. But I again overall the show was phenomenal. I would recommend I do recommend folks to go watch this just because like I love the themes of the show as well, and I love like the plot, where it was going and all of that, and the mystery behind Ariel and Prospera and Suletta and all that. You mentioned something about like the callbacks and everything from like you made some theories that like were pretty solid too, like from from I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, like the theories we crafted I guess before recording this, like how you said at the end where you thought that everyone who passed was in the data storm.
I
So
did
like I
make
saw
create that theory.
yeah, you told me that, and then like I was watching the finale on Sunday, and I was like, "Holy shit, Michael's right." So,
Well, because
but
you and I were off cam, but we were talking also about like I think it was with you. We're talking about who was it that interfered with Ari? Because she was like like she's like, why are you interfering or something like that?
yeah,
And now we know who it was. So
well, I guess we can say. I mean, this is all spoilers, anyway. But was it Elan, the clone Elan? You think so?
yeah,
Was that
yeah.
or his dad?
It was more than likely Elon because he's the plot armor, but the it's like the enhanced person's archive was in Quiet Zero. I guess it would kind of make sense because it's similar to what Suletta is, kind of like a not really so much enhanced, but just like kind of like a genetic clone type thing. But he said that the archive is here, so therefore like
A part
his
of me is still here.
consciousness
Yeah.
is there. And everyone you saw at the end, that was I mean, I guess they kind of mentioned that Suletta brought them there from Ariel's database, because whenever I guess she pulled Ari from Ariel, all the information that in data that was in Ari and Ariel, it's now in Suletta, so she's able to call on those memories and data and people, I guess.
It's kind of like Star Wars with the
Yeah,
Jedi,
kind of
the Force ghosts and
Force.
shit. Oh my god.
So
Oh my god. Just think about this now. It makes me laugh. Like it's just
yeah,
Qui-Gon
You know,
Jinn and Anakin show up.
but yeah, no, we were talking about the theories, right? Yeah, so yeah, no, that was actually one theory that I kind of had. It was more so because whenever people pass from data storm, they don't, it always shows them like tunneling into like the blue data storm. So yeah, that's kind of where my theory of that came from.
I thought that like with the data storm issue, like with Prospera, I was like, holy shit, is she like a clone, or like what's going on? And they're like, oh, it's data storm infection. I wish I wanted them to touch more up on that. That would have been
Yeah.
like a good some good information to kind of tread on in the show, because it would explain why she was wearing the helmet, and then like why she was doing everything so quickly, because she would have been pretty much dead at that point. By the time she achieved her goal, she would have been probably dead.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably argue that that's probably one of the reasons why she was so pushy about everything.
Yeah.
I mean, albeit, you know, ignoring the shortcomings, Prospera was an amazing villain. Super terrifying, super scary. Not in the way that they're just like, so like strong and powerful and scary, but it's just more so like the
It's
lengths
sort of like,
that she'll go to
yeah.
like, yeah.
And it's also, I want to say it's also her quiet demeanor. Like she
Mhm.
never like flipped out. The majority of the time she didn't flip out. Like
Yeah.
all the times like she would, like when she was mind fucking
She
Miorine.
was completely
Yeah.
composed and everything, and like calculated. I'm like, that's kind of person you want to be like. You want to be careful being around.
Yeah. Like even when like she, like what you think she was doing when she was offering Miorine help, and then she was like, I got shit on you and your dad, so my goal is to get your dad, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so like it's just the way how she just was able to be like, or how she was able to plan her I guess her infiltration, and the plan to like give Eri a free world. I thought that was really cool. I honestly, I wish they did more with that, like gave us more like behind the scenes type of scenes, like to see her like pretty much uh I guess like bring in her group, and like how they use quiet zero and stuff like that, instead of just having dialogue be what be used to explain what Prospera was doing. I wish they kind of just showed her doing all of that, because
Right. Yeah.
because a lot of it was just explained through like the conversations with I forgot who she was, the older lady that questioned Prospera and Eri, the one that she almost got
Oh,
shot,
Bell.
and then
Oh, Bell.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of the plot was explained through her conversation with the other lady that was giving her food and shit like that. So I kind of wish that they showcased Prospera like walking around planning things, and looking up Earth or whatever. I think that's what it was, like Earth, and just like plotting everything. That would have been really cool to see.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot that I wish you're gonna. I'll get over it. But it's we all will. We're all, if you watch it and you're upset, I'm upset with you. One of the reasons why I'm so mad is because this was actually one of like this was gonna go like probably in like my top 3 animes, just because like the amount of emotions that you kind of go through when you get invested in the characters, when you actually invest in the storyline. It's just like, the emotional wreck of a roller coaster, going from like the prologue. It's kind of happy, kind of dark, but then gets a little happy, then like super dark, and then you go into episode 1, season 1, and you're like, what, this is like so like lighthearted and chill, like this is nothing like the prologue. But then
Yeah.
and just that roller coaster, I enjoyed being on the ride, and I still do. I'll get over the ending, and
Yeah.
I will still look back and say it was a good anime. It was really good.
I guess since we're like just talking about the characters on that as well, like was just seeing how everything unfolded. I guess was there any change in your favorite characters, or like was there characters that you thought you liked that you ended up just not liking at towards the end? Like for me, like I guess I stay consistent with Guel being my favorite character. Like I thought he was the best throughout this whole show.
Mhm. And you and I called it after um episode 3. It's just like they gave him that heroic, like, this is my fight, I'm gonna win on my terms. Granted, it was still part of his immaturity that he needed to let go of, but it's just that willpower. I love it. It didn't really change how I felt about him, but I love how he got his own episode just to like fully like tie up all the trauma that he's gone through, um, and to just give him another reason to get behind uh you know, a mobile suit and to fight, you know. So that was one thing. Um, I will say I didn't really care too much for Norea and Sophie, the Earth Witches. I especially again the show does a really good job of making you not like people. um, like again, you don't like Guel because he's just such a dick in episode 1 and 2. Um, and then the Earth Witches, how they pretty much were going to they were pretty much going to kill Nika. Um, and so you're kind of like, you know, like screw screw them. Like why are they here? They're ruining everything. Um, but then you kind of like see everything that they're going through and why they're fighting and why they have to be so cold. It's because like how bad the conditions are on Earth. And I think one of the scenes that really moved me was when Elan 5 went and comforted Noria. Because and Nika was pretty much asking like what's going on. He's like kind of looks at her and changes his demeanor too, and he's like it's nothing you would ever understand because like they both of them were Gundam pilots and they've been affected by Data Storm. And then yeah, what happened to her at the end of that episode, I'm like, oh man.
See,
I
but
didn't.
that's what I like about Gundam though. Like it's again, it's similar to Attack on Titan, where once they give you context of these characters, it's like, damn, like I feel bad for them. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't too big on Sophie, but Norea was the one that I changed. Like even when after Sophie's death, Norea is like, I don't want to live no more. The way how she was grieving felt so fucking relatable, man. Like
Yeah.
she's like, fuck this, man. I can't do this no more. Life isn't the same without Sophie. Like I just want to be with Sophie type of deal. And then how Elan, you see Elan just like look at her and it's not even like pity, but he just like looks at her like I can't help her. Like there's nothing I can do to
He
help her with
drops
this
his
process.
he drops his mask and reveals
Yeah.
his true self because his mask is pretty much just like play it cool and play the role that you're given, you know.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to act like Elon, but he finally dropped the mask and he's like look, you don't want to be alone, I don't want to be alone, like let's just it's actually really sad and moving, but it's just like let's just fucking run away together
And
like,
then
just forget all this.
she gets fucking
Man, I never thought seeing one of the Earth Witches die like that. Like I didn't think I would be moved that hard by it.
Yeah.
It was just from left field, but like that was probably like the most felt. Is it?
I would say it's one of the saddest deaths.
Yeah, it is because they give you this hope and then they're just like, nope.
But shoot the bitch, she's right there. They fucking shoot her in the Gundam, and I don't know, dude. Like I just like Sophie's death was a given. Like they already kind of teased how she's gonna, because she was so obsessed with Ariel,
Mhm.
and we'll touch up on that scene in a bit too. But like Norea's death, though, man, it just I guess again like being for myself, it's relatable because seeing how she was grieving like that is just
Mhm.
man, like Elan's like, dude, like let's just like you said, Elan told her like let's forget all this, let's just go, and you see this change in the Elan 5, like his even the clones, like they
Mhm.
all which is why I love this character too, because like each variant of Elan is different.
Mhm.
And props to the actor, man. Was it it's Tanjiro, right? The
Yeah, it's
Natsuki
Tanjiro.
Hane. Yeah, dude.
Dude,
But
dude's a fucking
he's a
he's a
good
legend,
actor, man. He's so good. Like he was able to voice Elan and like different versions of Elan. Yeah,
Three different Elons.
and they're all different. Like
Mhm.
their personalities are all different. It just, dude, he's climbing up that ladder to goat status for me for voice actors. Again, Yuki Kaji's still the goat to me, but not Natsuki Hane. Like you're climbing up there. He's fucking phenomenal. But again, back to Elan, is just like seeing how each Elan variant was different, and then seeing how Elan 5 was, trying to find ways to uh sympathize with Nori. And then even at the end, like how I wasn't expecting him to be like, hey, let me help you guys out, but again, because this character is very fishy, because he, even the real Elan had his own motives too, so
Yeah.
it's kind of given that these other clones of Elan are similar in that aspect, where you don't know if they're going to be good or bad.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get much of the real Elon's personality. We knew that he was just like really cocky and like really, but then I guess he revealed at the end. He's like, I'm tired of being on like Pale's leash, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, and then he, I guess the moves were that Cecilia's house pretty much hired him as I guess a part of the whole deal, which we'll get into later in the ending.
But I thought it was a great like twist to see, like he's like, fuck you guys, bye, and he just walks out. He just like dips out.
Yeah, pretty much. Let me see, was there anyone else?
I guess we can kind of talk about Sophie's death too. So
Yeah,
because Sophie's death being one that affected Nori like in a big way, but like, dude, I wasn't expecting that reveal when Sophie died. Like, I wasn't expecting that to be so early. Like, what was that, episode 2 of the second season? Like, where like like they kind of, because we were theorizing about Ariel, Eri, and Soletta, how like we were already kind of like thinking maybe Ariel is an AI, or she's I guess an existing being inside it, because there was more to Ariel than what we thought that was shown in the first half of the show. Because again, a lot of this was just theory crafting, and then once they were confirming things like back to back, dude, and then like just the reveal, like when you see Sophie in the data storm, she's like, that's who I want, that's who I was seeing, that's who I want, and they show like little Ari with her hand. I was like, oh my god, bro!
It's like, dang, man.
I screamed.
It's like I know, same. I legit, I was like, it's like I literally said like, I fucking knew it. Let's fucking go. I was like so hype. Because no, I mean, I know we theorize a lot of things, but this was like the one theory that I fully leaned on. I was fully on board with this theory because, again, season 1, things don't add up, the ages, because Belle says like, I think like she says X amount of years since the attack, and it doesn't line up with Soletta's age, and I'm just like,
you're still young and Soletta is still young, but all this time has passed. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. So it's those seeds of doubt actually kind of bloomed into like the truth of everything.
And then even like, how you theorize like the whole cloning issue, like how why would they give us Elan clones so early on in the show? Like in the first episode 5 or 6. Why would they tease us this idea like there's clones in this show, just to show that Soletta, we were right on this, like Soletta is a clone. But I wasn't expecting that Ariel was Eri in that sense. I thought like maybe Eri was still alive somewhere, but like, to confirm that she was actually the Gundam, I was like, holy shit, like that was a big twist.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like it was heavily implied again from the
from the not the prologue, but the
audio reading of the novel, because again they got Kana Ichinose, the voice actor for Soletta, to voice Ariel in that, and like, no coincidence there.
You see, like that meme where the guy's like having the map. I was like, how he's like, when you describe the plot, and it's like the guy with the map and like all the arrows, like this is what it is, like that's exactly how it was. Like watching Gundam, like this is it, like this is the plot, and trying to explain to someone who's never watched Gundam.
Right. But yeah, no, it's just they did a really good job in the first half. A great job in the first half of the second season, just kind of like confirming everything, and like showing Prospero's true hand, because like she's always kind of just been working in the dark, and then you see her like and the way that she kind of like you said, like kind of like quiet, calmly threatens like Miorine, pretty much saying that like, you know, you're the you're something like you're the blood stained princess or something like that. Like you're
Yeah.
like you have the blood of you know, of those who, you know, your family's cursed pretty much.
Yeah. Which she's pretty much just telling her like, you know, you don't know like what your family's like. You don't realize how bad your family is. And
Mhm.
you know, because even throughout the whole show, like Mironi's treated like some sort of princess, like where she's like she doesn't want to be treated like one, but then she is treated like one because of her dad. And
Right,
so
right.
like when you see like the viewpoints of how everyone else in the show looks at Mironi, like, you know, she's a spoiled brat, she's given everything, she doesn't know what it's like to struggle type of deal.
But then
And
that's the one of the reasons why she has to act that way, because
yeah,
she doesn't want to be spoon fed. She you know, wanted to, you know, when she put up the offer to build the Gundam Inc. She wanted to get her dad's approval, and
mhm.
she like bowed her head to try to
Yeah,
get
she
it. So
she she had to like, you know, humble herself
pre-
down to ask her dad for help. Yeah,
mhm.
but then like but not in a way where like give me money because I asked you,
Yeah,
but give me money because I this is something I want to work for.
yeah,
And so I did like that too, but again, dude, like it's just seeing this how like Mjolnir's growth too, like how she, I guess seeing how she was going to react to Soletta after the whole incident and at the finale of the season one, like after Soletta saved her, and you know, she kind of just like avoided Soletta throughout the beginning of the second half.
the pacing of that was so perfect, because it's like, um you know, she feels bad, but then she goes and tries to confront Soletta about it, and then she learns that Soletta really is brainwashed, you know.
Yeah,
um
dude, that was like just super fucked up because the way how Soletta's like, you know, anything my mom says,
I
it's
but
okay with it. I'm okay
I
with
just
it.
I love the way it was shot, because it was supposed to be a really like a really calm and peaceful scene of them two like coming back and reconnecting after,
Mhm.
you know, the season break, which felt long for us. Uh, and then, you know, uh, and then it just turns into like, it's like one of those like, it's nice and peaceful. The sun's out, the grass is green, the sky's blue, no clouds. But then it's just like dark, you know, because like
Yeah.
you just feel Mjolnir like trembling in fear and like anger and like going through emotions because of how messed up uh, Suletta is because of her mom. And then that's when that starts to justify what happens next, when, you know, they pretty much do everything they can to free Suletta from Prospera's planet.
Yes,
You know.
and glad you brought that up because like that this is right when they did the Bob episode too, like where he's
Hmm.
off on his own on Earth, and like how they gave him his redemption. But before we touch upon that, like I wanted to touch it more on just like seeing how they reveal like how Soletta was just so calm, like, yeah, you know, whatever mom says is right. You know, if I'm killing
Hmm.
someone to save my friends, that's not a big deal. I'm not wrong for doing that. And like
Again, it's
even
just
when like when Mirren is like, so if your mom told you to do that again, would you do it? She goes, yeah, because my mom's right. Like, dude, like it is so like
it's
fucked up.
scary. It's scary. It's like it's it's like sinister, and part of
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
what makes it
perfect. Yes,
sinister, is
yes,
because she's so innocent, and like that's part of the again that amazing freaking job like writing that that level of like plot, and to like to build that much sinister and terror in, you know, that kind of scenario. I think they painted that perfectly.
yeah.
Because if you didn't have that, then you wouldn't really have like, you know, Miorine wouldn't have her reason to fight for Soletta, you know.
Yeah, and
Um,
then to also like try to, and again, then not to kind of just bring it back to like to have her like treat Soletta in that way too, like how, you know, her and Guel both teamed up to betray her,
mhm.
and
Man,
dude, like okay, so from that episode to like the next two, I believe, like before they invade Earth or before they attack Earth again,
mhm.
like just seeing how they broke Soleda's character like that, where Soleda was someone who was so hopeful and she was so optimistic, and like nothing could go wrong. Because I'm just trying to. I, I was laughing at Bobby about it. I was like, she was trying to complete her Captain America list. Like she has the notebook and like her bucket list. And so she's trying to complete her bucket list of things like go to school, make friends, eat food. All of that just gets taken away in that moment where like when she's fighting Guel, and what the viewers are seeing is like Soleda's like, I'm fighting to stay by Miyarene's side, and you're not gonna be my way Guel type of deal. And again, and they do so well to show what Guel was going through. Like he was having PTSD, he was being nauseated, like he couldn't even fight in the mobile suit because he kept seeing the flashbacks of his dad dying, which I wish they touched up more on that too. But like that episode was just so good, like the back and forth, and then you just see like you hear Ariel say sorry to Soleta during that fight, and then she shuts down, and then Guel wins the fight, and you just see Mione on top, like, I'm sorry, my country bumpkin, like I had to do this, and she takes away the badge or whatever it was, and Soleta's just crying in the cockpit, like yo,
bro, that
they took everything away from her.
No, seriously, because like she's the main character, and like how innocent she is, and it's just like protect the Tanuki is that's what everyone called her like on the internet, and then to see her like, because you feel for her, you want her to win, and then you see her just like cry, like shriek out of like sad, man, that like,
dude, the actress did so fucking good.
They did.
And then like the song plays too, like, oh my god,
dude,
like,
that song, I'll be honest, the first time I heard it, because I was so attached to the season 1's ending, which still one of my favorites, it took time to grow on me, but then every single freaking time those like the synths just chime in, it's just like, oh, I get goosebumps and chills, because
I hated it because I knew that was the end of the episode. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah no, same. I'm like, because it goes by so fast sometimes, but man, you get chills. They played that into every ending super well, even like the second to last episode, whenever Eri sacrifices herself,
oh my god,
and then just like when they play that, it's just like
it's like
depression.
Yeah, like it's such an eerie type of song. Like, even the way how the singers, the singer of the second ending, like she has like this raspy Adele-ish like voice, and it's like I didn't look up the lyrics, but just hearing from the tone of it, the expressions of how she sings, it sounds like it's a very dark song, and
it's
like even
the song can be summed up, the lyrics and the meaning behind it can be summed up in like what Miorine has to do to Soleta.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much saying that like I'm sorry I have to do this, like my to the one that I love,
Okay. Yeah, but back to like just Soleta losing everything, and then the following episode, was it the following episode like where she talks to Eri in the data storm?
And then,
oh my dude, that episode hit me like a fucking rock, bro. Like that, like it just you see. I guess I love how they did the callback to the novel, because know because Soleta's going to Ariel for comfort and to talk to her, and then like you just see Eri come out, and then again, and this confirmed a lot of the theories we were talking about, like the other clones, the other children were what were they, the gun bits? Yeah, they were the bits.
Yeah,
and I was like, bro, that was a big turn for me to see like what Eri has gone through physically to make these clones and to be these bits. And
just I know we talked about this, but like just I jumped the gun a little there. But yeah, because there were the callbacks saying like, on this day you brought you got
the coffee or something, the tea,
chocolate milk or something like that.
Yeah,
and then it's just all callbacks to the Cradle Planet short novel, and then
the flashback of when like you see how Eri became Ariel. Dude, my heart broke seeing Prospera like hold Eri like that, and you see
Like her
you see-
lifeless body.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you see like her soul, I guess, transfer into Ariel. And I'm not a parent, but I was like, God damn, if I was a parent and I had to go through that, I would destroy the universe.
No,
And
that's exactly.
everything Prosperity. I was like, I'm on your side.
No, yeah, like exactly, like word though. It's just like, it's like, damn, Prospera's kind of a bitch. You know, maybe she's not, maybe she's maybe,
Like, hold on,
she's
maybe
right.
She's not that bad. Maybe she's not that bad. Let her cook. Let her cook. You know.
Yeah.
No. No, I mean, even I told you this off camera, dude. I was like, dude, like she's the Eren Yeager of this show, man. Like, let her win, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I fully, even now, I fully would have supported after watching the episode. I was like, you have my full support, Prospera. Fuck space, fuck Earth. Everyone deserves to die.
See, that's where you get into like where it could have been like amazing. It could have been like honestly
like everyone fighting Prospera type of deal.
Yeah, because it's just like you have. I love it. I love when fights, in stories and plots, the conflict when you can understand both sides. I mention this all the time. But one of the first times I ever experienced this was watching Smallville, because you kind of like really grow to see that Lex isn't a bad person. He's actually genuinely wants to help Clark. But because Clark won't trust him, and because like Clark keeps like keep pushing him away when all he's trying to do is just protect Clark, you see how he turns into the villain. And then you kind of see that like throughout the whole series that he's even like defending Clark in front of his dad and all that. He's white knighting for Clark. Long story short, I really love stories where you can understand both sides, because it's one thing to see the conflict from just the protagonist side, but if you can see the conflict from the protagonist side, but also see it from the villain side, to see that like the villains aren't trying to be bad people, they just have like their own intentions. Those stories to me are like my favorite. And the more you can sympathize with the villain, I kind of like
maybe
those.
Thanos was right, you know.
you know.
Maybe the snap. Maybe we needed the snap.
Well, they kind of touched up on that in the Eternals. Thanos did nothing wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like we are a bit overpopulated. Maybe it was what he did was he was reaching, but he ain't wrong.
gas price is kind of thick right now.
No, but like to pick up on that episode, like even up to that point where we see the flashback, and then you see was it Ariel that ejected Suletta out, and then her mom comes out and she's like, well, we're done with you. We don't need you no more. This is my job and this is Aries' job. So bye. And they take off, and like she's just spinning in space. And then again, the sense of the song, the ending song. I'm like, oh my god, bro! Like,
and then you see her like, you don't hear her because it's in space, but you see her like just like weeping and like just
like because
bawling.
She's already lost. She's already lost Mjolnir. She lost like her goals in school, like Mjolnir and possibly her friends, and then she really loses the things that she loved most, which was her mom and Eri. And I was like,
and Mjolnir. So
like, god damn, dude, like she went through like Naruto level character development within two episodes.
Oh yeah, I think I might have told you this already, but so the voice actor for Mjolnir, Lin, they do kind of like a radio thing like in Japan. And I think on one of the episodes, Lin, the voice actor, said that like she almost couldn't read the lines because of how like when she says sayonara, like my country bumpkin. Context, you never really say sayonara in Japanese unless it's like an actual goodbye. Like I will never see, like we'll never see each other again. Farewell. It's not like see you later. It's more like a like goodbye, like forever.
Yeah.
So when she says it in a meaning that, like, this is the end for us. Um, uh,
Was like the
just- I-
actor.
she almost couldn't, the voice actor almost couldn't read those lines when she was prompted to, because of like how, she felt it was like a very terrible thing to say, given
Okay.
like the role that she's in. So it's one more nod to
Do you think it's because like
seiyus.
do you think it's because she's in character, like that's why she couldn't say it, or
Oh
it's just-
yeah, one of the things that makes, if I can just go on a Seiyu rant here,
Yeah.
things that makes Seiyu so good is, they're acting, yeah, but they it's almost like what we expect the voice actors, the English voice actors, to do in panels. Like, we expect them to answer questions about the character, when in truth, like,
like, we want you to be that character answering the questions type of
yeah.
deal.
But
Yeah.
the truth is, they are playing the Seiyu in that instance, because the Seiyu is the one who, like, again, they have to go on, if it's a big anime series, they usually go on like a radio show, and then they kind of act in character, but then they're
Yeah.
not reading from a script. They actually just,
Giving their
they know how they would
interpretation of
think.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I see some of that
So-
too. Like the Demon Slayer people do it. I know like the Naruto people do it. Like they do like the
Mhm.
talk shows where, what would Tanjiro do if he was like in today's society? Then like the voice actor would just be like, "Oh hey, I'm Tanjiro. I'm in Tokyo today." Da, da, da. Like they would pretend to be the character.
Yeah. And
yeah.
they would talk in voice, and they did it after, every Demon Slayer episode. They kind of had that little, little short slide of like the characters interacting, like out of story. So yeah, no, Seiyus, they're, so one of the things that make them so great is, it's not like here, you can't just become a voice actor. You can't just audition for a voice actor. You got to go to academy for it. You got to like be successful with it. But yeah, no, they do a really good job with all that.
If you want to start your own podcast like Spoiler Force, then sign up with Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout has helped hundreds of thousands of users like me to begin their podcasting journey. With easy-to-use tools, you can effectively get your podcast into different platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and more. You can view your stats, create audio clips, and even have your own podcasting website. Buzzsprout offers ideas, tips, tricks, and tutorials to help you improve your podcast. Follow the link below, and once you sign up, you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card. This will let Buzzsprout know that I sent you and will also support Spoiler Force Podcast. If you want a simpler way to record both video and audio for your podcast, then sign up with StreamYard. StreamYard is the perfect program to create podcasts, host live streams, and even do video calls. There are many tools that can help you create and design your own personal studio. You can screen share, read live comments, and stream to different destinations like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can also download your video and audio once you're done with your recording session. Follow the link below, and once you sign up with the basic or pro plan, you'll earn a $10 credit to use for StreamYard. Happy podcasting. What was your thoughts on like the whole attacking the Earth part of the story, like, where you think everything's going well because Miorne and Guel, they team up, and then like they're gonna right their wrongs because they see how fucked up Earth is.
Mhm.
And then like this part tripped me out too, like when Guel went to see the kid again that he saved, and he brought up like, yeah, the prince is gonna help us, and he's gonna help Earth, and then they're like, the prince, like the only one
I
who's
had
named that
to-
is Shadik.
I had to play that over a couple times just because like I was trying to understand what was going on. But when I finally realized everything, I'm like, there was that episode was like an information bomb.
Yeah,
Because I mean, we know that that Shadik is involved with the the Earth I forgot what they're called.
like the Earth Witches, like the attack, pretty much the attack on
Yeah, the military
space
group
attack.
down
Yeah,
there. Yeah. And then it's also revealed that like the Space Assembly League is pretty much in cahoots with Ox Earth, which should have been dissolved, which should have been like dismantled, but pretty much And I think it's heavily implied that Prospera knew this, and that's why she wanted to attack them, because she's like, how dare you, like kill all of my comrades and kill, murder all those people and cover it up, saying that, like, Gundams are the reason why, because Gundams are the root cause. Gundams are killing people. Therefore, because of Gundams, we're gonna kill all these people. And then they take they take over Ox Earth, and they take over the Gundam technology for themselves. So it's kind of like, yeah, you're kind of mad about it. And you're just like, holy shit, like, they all literally all died for nothing. You say because you wanted to eradicate Gundams, but the truth is you just wanted them for yourself.
Yeah. You militarized something that we were using for a medical reason.
Yeah.
And then, I rewatched that episode again, and then I had to, like, I texted you. I was like, yo, I don't get this. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think I was the one who I might have explained things to you, but because, like, I had to again, I had to, like, really break it down, because a few weeks earlier someone broke down all the different organizations. So you have, like, Cathedra, which is the Bennett group, and then you have the Space Assembly League, which is kind of like another entity. They're kind of like the overseers of everything, where the Bennett group is kind of like an independent, like, conglomerate of companies that have enough power to act on their own. That's why in the end they were like, we're,
it's kind of like big pharma and, like, the government type of deal. Do you think so? It's kind of like that.
Kind of.
Or like Elon Musk, and then, like, you have, like, all these big corporate rich people, and then you have, like, the overseeing government that's like, we're not really gonna fuck with them, but we can still, like, look and see what they're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty much kind of like that, where it's the Space Assembly League, they can, if they had the right leads, then yeah, they can
take
them out. But they at that point they didn't really have any much leads, so that's why they were kind of like, well, it would be a shame if this laser were to just suddenly accidentally fire. I'm like, you bastard,
you motherfuckers. And then, we'll just, we'll take the fall. We're just saying, like, it just went off by accident.
And we'll get around to that, but the parallels of that too from the prologue, I think they did a good job with that. But
yeah, but I think, like, that reveal, like, the whole Earth episode, like, just seeing, like, how Mjolnir was trying to make peace on Earth. Like, hey, we're here to use Gundam to help you guys with the living conditions, because we know how harsh it is on Earth. We want to try not to separate the Spatians from the Earthians, and right when everything was about to be peaceful,
going so well too,
and then Prosperity's like, fuck you guys, and then she just took over everything, and like I can't control my Gundam, why am I shooting? And the war started.
No, yeah, because she controlled the other Gundam and started and used the other mobile suits and had them attack her. I'm like, damn, that's kind of like like 1,000 IQ right there. But again, it's just like you think Prospera is like going overboard, but then you look at everything that she went through, and I'm like, it's like I understand, it's fucked up, I understand, but then you see it from like where Suletta is, and it's like, I don't want my mom or Eri to be like a murderer and all that, so she wants to stop them. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
I don't know. I guess I didn't. I don't want to say I didn't like this, but I wanted to see a different outcome when it came to Suletta confronting her mom. Like, it was pretty, like, well, it was, we've even theorized this already, like, where, like, do you think that Prospera is gonna fight Suletta, or Suletta gonna fight Ariel, or is Ariel gonna fight Prospera? Like, there's all this conflicting notions of, like, who's gonna fight who, because even we were, like, theorizing Lauda was gonna fight Guel, because of the whole dad, because him killing his dad. So there was a lot of that going on, and I kind of wish that they just elaborated more on that towards the end. But I mean, even then, like it's just seeing how everything just added up to it, and then like right when the whole Earth issue happened, and then that's when again we see Noria get killed, and then Elan 5 is like, all right, well, I'm joining you Earth people now because I just lost one of the only connections I have, and so like
Yeah.
you kind of see like the school kind of team up because even then like when the school got attacked, like I thought like Petra died,
Yeah,
and
everyone thought Petra died.
it gives Lauda a reason to fight, and I honestly. Excuse me. I honestly thought that he would have had a better reason to fight. Like or not that, but like I wish he was mad at Guel versus like, oh, I'm gonna take out Mjolnir.
Well, it kind of makes sense because he still took it out on Gwell, but he was painting it in a way that like where Mjolnir is
The main
kind of like
cause.
has like you're so like whipped over her and you want her so bad that you're doing all this stuff. Like it's like the memes you and I send each other, or you send me. It's just like when you see your boy going for the wrong girl. But no, it's just,
the Breaking Bad
like
he's
that.
like Jesse,
Yeah.
like hitting the door.
Yeah, it's like that because but he's like, but he's also so like blinded by rage because I think the main motive is, he's seeing what Guel's doing, and he's seeing, and it's the repercussions of that is what's Petra getting hurt is what's building that rage in him. So,
I mean, didn't he? Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he find out like it was Guel that killed his dad too? Like, I forgot what was it because it was when Guel was fighting Shadiq
yeah,
that he
and then
overheard.
typical anime fashion where it's just
Yeah.
like they're somehow talking to each other like
While fighting
in an
space.
intense fight, and Lauda's got the earpiece on. I'm like, I called it before. I'm like, they're fighting, if they're saying this out loud, like
Someone's
like,
gonna hear it.
bet money Lauda's got the earpiece, and he's just like, and I'm like, yep, there we go, sure enough.
I thought, man, like I liked Shadiq as a villain. Like he was like one of those. I don't know if you ever seen like the Five Deadly Venom movies, like the old Chinese movies where like one of my it was the ones that my dad watched a lot, but like I would relate to Shadiq to like to Scorpion, like where he not Mortal Kombat Scorpion, but from the Five Deadly Venoms, like where he's someone who is not so much a villain, but he has his own kind of like Alan, like he has his own motive to do things, and so like I thought they would have like I guess done more with that with the plot with Shadiq instead of just him fighting Guel and then just to lose and then like he just sits in prison all day. Like,
Yeah, and honestly, that Gundam was badass too, like the Schwarzette. It's pretty badass. I wish I got to see more of like what it can do, because it like had that kind of like scatter beam gun.
Yeah.
So I think they really they could have done so much more.
They could have upped the toy sales, man. They could have just done more with the Gundams.
They could have. And well, I'll have more to, I know I keep jumping the gun, but I will have more to say, about the ending.
I mean,
about the final episode.
we're pretty much there already because like after, because pretty much after Shadiq gets caught, that's when again Lauda finds out the truth. Earth people team up together, and then like this is when they team up to take down Prospera because like even Soletta was like I gotta. She had some words to say with her mom and Eri, like, and then that's when we also find about the tomato, like where there was the encrypted code for Mjolnir, which I thought that was a very poetic moment. But just like seeing how the Earth people and like the Spatians team up, like from not Nika, but like the girls that were with Guel, like the ones that picked on them, how they were helping Choo Choo and Nika and they're like, hey, you can use my Gundam and stuff like that. Like I really like that, like the whole power of friendship ordeal. And okay, let me just go on a tangent. Choo Choo was another great character too. Throughout the whole show,
Choo
she was
Choo's great.
Consistently one of my favorites too.
No, she's just like she's a badass. So,
but yeah, just to see them like team up, and then like you see, that's when Suletta, they ask Suletta to pilot the other Gundam. I don't know what it's called, but
Caliburn.
yeah, Okay, do you know this ordeal? Like the reason why she was able to pilot it because it wasn't with the data storm, or what was it? Or was it because it had data storm that she was able to do it
Oh no, because whenever she would pilot Ariel, the reason why she wouldn't have data storm is because it was
because of Ariel?
it was Airy.
Yeah.
Airy was pretty much taking on like controlling all the Gundam parts, but Suletta was actually the one piloting. So to Suletta, it was just like a regular mobile suit.
Oh, okay.
Because again, you call back to a lot of people will think that like oh, like how is Suletta this good if it was always Ariel? But no, Suletta was actually really a good pilot, because in the Cradle Planet novel, like Suletta would actually do pilot simulations.
Okay, well, okay, maybe you can help answer this then, because I was kind of confused on like why they asked her to pilot that Gundam. Was it because Quiet Zero didn't affect it, or was it like
Because I mean, okay, so that the Caliburn, one of the reasons why no one used it is because it had it reaches a higher permit score.
oh, okay.
And so in order for them to do it, and then the reason why Suletta wanted to do it is because she also has Aries genes, in which
I mean, like, she's gambling on the fact that she could possibly get that permit score.
right, and it's because she has similar genes to the first person who's able to successfully like connect to the Gundam permit link.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, I thought it was like, oh, well, this Gundam, we had it in the back, but Quiet Zero doesn't affect it, so use it. I thought it was that.
Yeah, I mean, because
You
like
just randomly had this Gundam laying about, and that's about time to use it.
I kind of wish that they went into more of like, instead of just like space magic, explain more of what like of how the permit score and how the data storm works, because apparently I guess the higher the score, then the more data storm you actually create in a physical space, which allows Eri to move around. Suletta was the key to help Eri get to that point. So maybe it was actually part of Suletta's piloting too. Maybe she was somewhat linked to, the permit, the permit link. But even that episode felt rushed, man. Like,
I mean,
I feel like it was all over the place.
From that point on, it was like even up to where Guel fought Lauda, like that was rushed.
That was rushed.
And I was complaining about this to you too. I was like why did they got to take that moment away? It would have been like I said with the whole tomato thing. Like it would have been super poetic seeing someone like Guel, who's made a complete 180 redemption arc, to die in the same fashion that his dad did, and then to also like pass on that kind of like wisdom to his younger brother, like, hey, don't pilot no more. You don't need to pilot no more.
That was a really touching scene.
Yeah, he's like I don't want you to pilot no more. This is why I'm doing this. And then like you see Lauda like, oh my god, like he's going through the same shit his brother is, and then he gets, by the power of the pen, he gets saved. I'm just like bro, like this would have been so good.
I think it was necessary because what's her name? The girl who pretty much saves them. She kind of one of the whole things that I like is one of the things that we're dealing with here is just kind of like a cycle of like doing someone getting too powerful and someone trying to take them down, and then in this case it's just family killing family, and then her coming along and saying like it's like if this is some kind of joke, it's not funny. Yeah, it's kind of campy, but yeah.
I mean, it's like the whole Naruto thing where it's like we can do this in a different way, like to break the whole common saying on the internet, like we got to break these generational traumas and break the cycles and shit like that. So that's pretty much what they were implying in that part of the episode, where again it's great to kind of imply that, but it would writing wise,
it would have been really great for given this series to kill him off. Not that I want him to die, but I think it would have been a really good His death
a
would have
good
had a lot of purpose and weight to
yeah,
it.
it would have been a good death. Like it wouldn't be like some like again, Norie was a good character, but she her death wasn't as impactful. Like it was a sad death.
Right, yeah,
But
it
like
was sad.
but having like writing off a main character or like a character with a lot of that's in a lot of episodes like that. Like again, like Guel to write him off like that, that would have been like holy shit, dude. Like they
Yeah.
that would have been again. I keep referencing back to Attack on Titan because Attack on Titan they take out your favorite characters and don't care. It's like you don't know who's
Yeah.
like or like Chainsaw Man. They take out your characters that you don't know who's gonna go. So
And
I kind of like that.
That's me with Demon Slayer because I haven't read the manga, and like they took Rengoku from us, and I'm like every time I see a Hashira have a flashback, I'm like, it's like the blade is this close to them, and they're like this close to death, and they have a flashback. I'm like, oh, like are they gonna die? Or are we gonna lose another Hashira? But no, they end up not.
Yeah.
But like you learn that it's just like I can't trust you guys.
No, and that's what I want though. Like I guess like from a writing aspect, like that's what I want. I want to be able to watch a show and be like, get like Game of Thrones, like damn, like when you root for a character, when you root so hard for a character that you like, and then they just get taken from you, like it's like, dude, like that's real life, man. Like that's what it is. It's just it's part of accepting like some of your favorite characters don't live, and I would have loved to have seen that with Goel because I believe the purpose of Goel was to show like his redemption arc. Like that would have been like that was his story, to see him come back and fight for the right cause and to learn from his mistakes and to know that he can do this without his dad's help, and then like to see him die in the same fashion as his dad, someone who he not hated but someone who he didn't get along with, and die in that same.
He always revered his dad.
Yeah,
he always respected, and he wanted to prove himself. That was and I guess it was the way Guel sees it is like if he wasn't so arrogant and if he wasn't so cocky and like so prideful, which was his strength. It's like the mistakes that you make are what leads you to make those mistakes, and then you learn from those and you mature. But it's because of that immaturity that led you. That's kind of like one thing I'm, personally myself that I'm going through, and why it's something that I can relate to is it's easy to look back at the things that you did before and hate yourself for that. But like don't hate yourself for that, because if you didn't feel that way, if you didn't want to do those things and make those mistakes, you wouldn't have learned. So you should, if where you are in your life right now, you should be thankful for your immaturity, because you wouldn't be you today without them. Anyways,
but that's exactly what Goel is. That's again to come back to like what the point I was trying to make was like that would have been perfect for him to die in that way.
It would have.
But then again, power of the plot or plot armor, he gets saved, and it's just like that moment gets taken away from me as a viewer. Just like really, like yes, it's great that he's alive, but to see like that this like growing character having a good moment get taken away like that was kind of like a definite so it's like because and then like it would have made Lauda a much better character as well. Like he would have been like in the same boat as Goel.
I think they would have went through with it if they weren't rushed. I don't know at what point they realized that like, oh, we're not gonna go into another season.
Probably towards that part. They're just like
it was probably towards that part, yeah. Honestly, I think the episode before that was a bit slower. That it's like the odd scene where who was it that was it Guel and Suletta that were fencing?
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's a reference to an older Gundam series. But it felt out of place. And that whole episode just felt I felt like I was a little sick when that episode came out. So no, I was drunk because I went to a show that night. And I stayed up. I was like I stay up till 4:30 every morning, every Saturday night, Sunday morning to watch the episode when it comes out. And I felt like I was in a fever dream watching that. I had to watch it again when I woke up.
Were they really?
Uh,
What the fuck?
It's like because like it's like you blink and then it's like a completely different scene, and it's just like a completely different context of things, and it's just
Am I
it's really
tripping?
much.
I didn't take drugs today.
But no, it's just like them like cramming so much, and then like
Yeah.
Soletta didn't really get her own like development, like training arc. Like she didn't have any like, you know, fall down and get back up kind of moments when she just sat in Ariel and in Caliburn and felt the data storm and
I'm telling you, dude, Star Wars, bro. She was the Ray of the show. Like, trust the Force.
yeah. But
But yeah, it goes to like towards this ending, man. Like just how everything happened so quickly. But like the only thing I really just liked was the whole Miorine and her mom part. Like I thought that part was
I wish
like
they
I thought that
got
was so good.
more.
Like emotionally, I thought that was good.
I was hoping that Miorine's mom was somewhere in the data storm and that we would see her because they tease scenes of her in the opening,
Her mom.
yeah. So like near the end of the opening, it shows a parallel. It shows Elnora Prospera holding Aerie, and then it cuts to a scene where it's just showing hands. It shows
You see
a
like
woman's
Miorine holding her
hands,
mom's hand.
and then a tomato, and then Miorine's child hands reaching for the tomato.
They don't even show her mom at all in the show, right?
They don't. Like
Yeah.
we don't even see her. I don't think we see her face. No.
Like not even like a silhouette or nothing. I'm just picturing like a grown up Miorine. That's enough.
Probably.
Most animes like the mom is just like the older version of the daughter. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's pretty much what it is. Like I don't know. I don't think you've seen it, but like in Tomo-chan is a
Yeah.
Zero, like
Tomo-chan's-
all the moms
Yeah.
moms are just like older versions of the daughter.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's kind of like that. But yeah, just like I love that encrypted scene, man. Just like seeing how the password to stop Quiet Zero was what her mom's last words were to Miorine. I was just like, damn, kind of hit me. Kind of hit me.
It was
a little bit hard
actually it was the DNA sequence that they found
Yeah.
from the genetic code of the tomatoes. It was cool. I think it was a little kind of like
right there. Tropey.
yeah, because just like why would they look into the genetic code of the tomatoes and then it's just placed there and then you're like, oh, okay. It wasn't terrible. It was a little campy and tropey, like you said, but it was good. It was what we wanted, which was for Miorine to have just some kind of like closure with her mom, and that was kind of what she
Yeah.
needed.
I mean, I like that in a sense because it was a good. I mean, it's predictable, but it was a good plot device to use. Like the tomatoes weren't there for no reason. Like there was a reason why they were teasing or showcasing the tomatoes every time, like or why she took care of tomatoes. So like it kind of just came back full circle. Which I mean, yeah, I personally I liked it, but I did like the scene leading up to it though, like how when they were like going to challenge Prospera and like she just comes out and like this is where I loved Elan, dude. Elan was a fucking G.
Yeah.
Like he just
Showing
he's
off his enhanced human traits, yeah.
He was a fucking G, man. Like and he shoots Prospera in the head and takes off her helmet. And
Yeah.
then, but yeah,
But no, the thing he spites what's his name too, because he's like, no one will get shot this time, because he knows that it was I forgot his name, Avery or something like that. The fat guy.
the fat guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He
okay.
knows that it was him who killed Noria.
I wish they touched more on his character because he was the one that attacked.
He was the one who
Prospera
killed.
and
Yep.
It's not his dad.
Mhm.
Like this whole it took me a while to kind of get it. I was going through the Gundam wiki and I was like, wait a second, so wait.
Yeah, that's what
'Cause I
they
was-
always
I-
talk about how fat he is.
Yeah, because like I was looking up like the Gundam he was using. It's like, oh, why don't they ever show the Gundam that did the EMP and stuff like that? And I was looking that up and
Mhm.
I found like I looked up like who was piloting it. I was like, okay, so who's this guy? And I went back and then they're like, this is him in the later on in the show. Like he's like that's him. Like he's the fat guy. Like so like why didn't they touch it more on him and Prospera? Like I would have loved to see Prospera kill him.
I was hoping for that to happen.
Like they just let him like get away with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like this dude's a straight up villain, bro. Like I was like, dude, like he deserved
Well, he was
to die.
he was carrying orders, but still, he was the one who
he
pulled the trigger. He killed,
he drew first blood, man.
Yeah,
He killed Soleda's dad. Like, dude, like ugh! Another plot hole, man.
it's not. So, I'll tell you what I have. I have a small sliver of like blind faith and hope that there might be something else coming,
like an OVA or something.
They're doing. Well, let's wrap up and we can get into some potential theories and whatnot.
Okay. So he survives, and then pretty much, you know, did you like the fact that like, or did you like the fight between Suletta and Ariel? Like they really didn't fight, but she was just like trying
they
to
didn't,
get to
but
Ariel.
I liked the conflict with them because they, you know, it wasn't just Aries saying like, you know, oh, you're here, okay, let me kill you. Like, no, there was like conflict between them, and like obviously Aries, you know, they both want to do what Prospera wants at one point. So you know Aries is just gonna listen to what Prospera tells her, unless she also wants the freedom for herself. But then like Soleda's kind of being the one to like drop the truth bomb, like saying, you know, is it worth it to have that if you've, you know, killed so many people to get it, you know, to pretty much be a terrorist to get what you want. And then that whole struggle between the two of them, it was necessary because, you know, even it was Aries' idea to like say, you know, because you hear Prospera saying like, you know, is this what you want? When they kind of like they shoved Suletta away to go live her life, you know, that's what Aries wanted. Aries wanted Suletta to have her own life. So she's like, you have your own people, you have your own like everything, like you have a body, go live your life, you know. But then Suletta's like, I think the part that really broke through to Aries was when she said that like, you know, when her mom cries, she hurts for her mom and wants to like help her mom in the way that, you know, her mom did for her and everything. Yeah. So I think that kind of broke through to them, and then also it's just how things panned out, and
the bigger threat came, and you know, the laser. The guy got like Austin Powers, the laser. But yeah. I mean, I wish the fight was longer though. You know, like, you know, because most Gundams, when it's like a prominent fight like that in Gundam series and they're exchanging dialogue and fighting, it's supposed to be a big scene. I think of like in Gundam Wing when Hiro fought I forgot the pilot, but the pilot for Epion. Like that fight was a big fight. You know, I was expecting something like that between Ariel and Suletta.
I mean, that's where it falls short, because even in Gundam Double O, when you watch it, and you need to watch it, I
still haven't yet. It's on my watch list. I still haven't watched it.
I'm telling you, like, I'm not to spoil anything, but like what this show where this show falls short, that show delivers on. But yeah, no, there was you know, and again, seeing they give us the scene where you know, Caliburn gets upgraded, but we don't get to see it fight. I'm just like,
yes,
like, why? It looks badass too.
Power of friendship, bro. Suletta just turns Super Saiyan out of nowhere and then does nothing with it.
And then I was hoping that the Ferract, because they had that on board, Elon's Gundam.
Oh yeah, he never piloted it.
I thought that he was gonna at some point get in there and go fight and do something.
Well, okay, now you bring that. I would have loved this scene Elon fight the main Elon, like Elon 5 fight the real body Elon. I was expecting something like that too, where
same, yeah.
The clone is like, you know what, fuck you, bro.
No, the thing is like, okay, there was a scene in the final episode where it cuts to, it shows the Ferract next to the Caliburn, when they're I guess when they bring Suletta back in and she's recovering from Data Storm, and I'm like, oh shit, they do have the Ferract there. Like, I wonder what Elon's gonna do, but it was pretty much there just so the upgraded Caliburn can bring the other Gundams and, you know, be Gundam Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Like, it's just there's so much, like you said, there's so much like that could have been done in this ending. It was rushed, man. Like, even the fights were rushed. Like
hmm
the emotional part of it, like even that was rushed because like it went really quick from them fighting to, like, the laser hitting, and then they were like, and then Eri just looking back and like protecting everyone. All that happened so quickly. It wasn't.
Yeah, and nothing was really explained. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like kind of like, okay, how is Eri doing this? Like, and then another question that I had is just to pick at it a lot, and it's not a nitpick. It's actually a really big pick. Is why is it that that Suletta is able to reach the satellite, and Quiet Zero couldn't? Because Quiet Zero is supposed to be this center of Data Storm that's supposed to just spread out a permit score great enough that Eri can move around freely wherever she wants.
Mhm.
So why couldn't they reach the satellite, but somehow Suletta can? I don't know.
Plot armor.
Plot armor.
Plot armor, bro. But
Because I wanted to see the Caliburn go and destroy the satellite.
yeah.
That's what I was hoping was gonna happen. Nope.
But even then, like, or even before that, though, like, what did you think of Aries' sacrifice, though? Because I know you said you liked the part where Aries looks back at Suletta and like she kind of gives like this smile,
The smile. I'm like, oh no.
because that kind of like pointed out, like, yep, she's dying.
But why give us that and not kill her? I don't know.
Yeah. See,
Same thing with Petra. I honestly think Petra should
have died. Yeah. It's just, I told you, man. Like, it's just like a lot of this was just very. It was too happy, man.
I'm starting to have an epiphany.
Right
So
now.
one of the so I think Sunrise was under fire by Japanese TV. I don't know if I told you this or not, but apparently parents were upset at Sunrise because Gundam was playing on TV like Pokemon's playing on TV when we were younger, right? Imagine your kids watching like someone getting splattered by a big Gundam hand, and being really gruesome. So I think they had to tone it down. I think that's actually really.
They get mad at that, but Demon Slayer's killing people left and right.
But it's not so bloody. But like, it's the way, because Gundam's supposed to be like a little bit more like mature, less fantasy, and like, again that whole scene, I love it, but it's really dark. Like, just like the color schemes they used when Miorine sees the hand flying around and everything. It's pretty gruesome. That's dawning on me. Maybe that might be why.
I don't know. That's kind of dumb though, because like, again, back to Demon Slayer is like super sexual too. Like, parents ain't tripping that Nezuko just grows like double D's out of nowhere. Like, and she goes from like this childlike character to this like curvaceous woman, and then like you got Daki, who was like all over Muzan and was like, yeah, I'll let you do whatever you want type of. Like, come on, bro.
And you have Mitsuri in the onsen.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, like, no. I guess the parents weren't really upset about it because it actually was a fact that there was an article about it that parents were unhappy about the Gundam, because the thing about Gundam is just like when you start watching it, you think that it's meant for like kids because it's like high
No, but it's not.
school.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's disguised as that.
Yeah.
That's actually one thing to consider.
If anything, like parents need to not be mad at anime companies and need to just be mindful that your kid
Yeah,
shouldn't
just
be watching everything
yeah.
on fucking TV. It's your fault,
true.
parents. On this podcast, I'm saying it right now. It's your fault. If your kid is bad, it's your fault. It's not TV. It's you. It's you. You're not watching your kid.
Get involved in what your kids are doing.
Stop giving them
Um,
iPads. Be in their life. Take them out to go exercise and touch grass. But anyways, dude, what if I get dragged on Twitter for just saying shit like that?
Don't worry. There's the Twitter limit now, so you're fine.
Yes. Thank you, Elon. But just I don't know, man. Like this ending was just it's like
it didn't sit right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I don't hate it. I think they did a really good job with what they had. I know this isn't the ending that they wanted to give. I know for a fact, like a hard fact, this is not the ending that they wanted to give us. But for some reasons, I think they knew that they either A, wouldn't get renewed for season 3, or B, that now I'm realizing that maybe that they have to tone it down.
and that's gonna ruin the actual quality of the show.
Well, because the other thing too is that like they also have to consider that they're still running UC Gundam, the main universe, because this is which from Mercury, Double O, Wing, they're all alternate universes. So they still have the main installment that they have to take care of. So yeah, but I will say the decision to dissolve the Bennett group was actually pretty that caught me off guard. I was like, that's actually a really good outcome. Then you're kind of wondering like, well, shouldn't they still have to I don't know if you caught all of this, but shouldn't there still be accountable, like people being accountable for this, right?
Well, Shadiq took the blame for everything.
Shadiq took the blame. Originally he was taking the blame for the Plant Quetta attack, but then he said he'll also take the fall for Quiet Zero, even though
It wasn't
he
him.
knows that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the eerie thing though is that Shadiq also says sayonara to Miorine. So I think it's implied that he might be executed.
Oh shit! Damn, that's pretty dark.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, 'cause he's responsible for so many deaths, and he's taken the fall for one big attack and then a second big attack. So
Yeah. I guess that's his way to make peace, like to not kill any more people. He's the Earth Jesus again. You know? Just taking the sins.
I mean, no, he was no, far from it. He was still like way out of his. He was more thirsty than Guel was.
Oh, yo, that's right. Yeah, maybe. Damn, that's what being a sim does. Like you take the blame for everyone. You just
He started to white knight from Miorine. That's why.
yeah,
he,
exactly. Oh my
he was
god,
the first one
bro.
to do it. That's why he was like trying to win her over from Suletta, because he's saying pretty much like you can't give her what you can't give her what she needs. I can.
Bro, oh my god, this guy was such a simp that he just like, all right, Miorine, I'll save you the time to find her. I'll just take the fall for everything.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I mean, I now that you put it that way, it's it is different. Hold on, my fucking headphones. Yeah, but now that you put it that way, it's a little bit, seeing differently. It's just
okay. I don't hate it. I don't loathe it. It's not like despicable. I hate. It's acceptable, but it's also like knowing that like it could have been something so much more.
Okay, did you think Prospera was gonna die? I thought Prospera died, and that whole like
I think she
zero thing, because like when you learn that she's gonna be paralyzed, like she was ready to die already, and then she sees her dad, or not the dad, her husband, and and the part where she hugs Eri, yo,
that was actually
bro.
because it was.
I think
her-
honestly, I think anything with Prospera, bro, just it hits you hard with the feels, man. Like,
I love her, but I think she deserved to be like put to rest because like I think she wanted to accomplish a goal and just and she wanted to to just
be with her family at the end.
give up.
Yeah.
But they're saying that like it's it's not your time yet.
In a way, I see I just didn't like that because like you see how much Prospera was forcing herself physically and mentally to just make her kid, to make Eri happy, and then to just be with her husband and her loved ones again, and
Mhm.
they're just like, it's not time for you to go yet, so you gotta live the rest of your days being paralyzed, it's like, yo, like that, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I honestly, she should have died.
Yeah, and she's looking like all sad in the wheelchair and everything. and then
fuck.
and then it's Suleta says who turns and says, "Oh, Mom's happy that way." she's probably there like, kill me now.
Okay, and then another part that kind of took me off guard was Eri surviving. Like,
Yes.
because she's in the keychain, like,
Which I don't know how.
I love and hate it, but like I love it that like they let Eri live in that way, but I hate it because like, really, the keychain, like,
It's just a keychain. There's no computer in there. There's nothing sentient or like operating. There's no processing unit inside that thing, but somehow its consciousness got transferred there. And they how do they surmise it? It's just like,
it just happened.
I don't even know how I'm here either. Just I know it was Suleta who did this. How did she do it? I don't know, man. This show.
Yeah. And then I don't know. See, because like it's just the little things at the end that like made me really like loathe the show, because
This should have
this
been
ending, because like we both know this could have been the finale for the show, could have been like one of the best, making this show one of the best Gundam series.
This should have been done by Sunrise through Netflix.
Oh my god! Had it been done through Netflix,
like Iron Blood Orphans, because that way it's not airing on actual TV, and then they can get away with this stuff. But we can't.
Dude, had it been on Netflix,
that.
bro, it would have been. I think it would have been a lot darker.
It would have been. It would have. Again, I'm thinking about it now, and I'm surprised it took me this long to come to me. But talking to you helped. But yeah, I'm certain that it had to do with the backlash they got from
the public.
How
Like,
bloody the series was.
Oh my god! People just watch what your kids are watching, man. Like, your kids are watching worse things on their phones than they are watching Gundam, man.
I'll put it like this: I was watching things I shouldn't have been watching when I was a kid, and that's because my parents weren't looking over me. I turned out okay, kind of. No, actually, I'm not okay. You don't want your kids to turn out like me.
No, your kids are gonna be worse because now they have the internet on their phone.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, that was when the internet was still in its baby stages back then. Now it's like fully developed. So much you can do on the internet now. Back then, it's just like, if you wanted to do something, there was a risk involved. You had to like go to a sketchy site if you wanted to watch anime or something
The adult
inappropriate. Yeah,
But-
you had to go to a sketchy site.
and
get a virus.
Kids are doing that on their phone, and you're blaming the TV and the networks for this. That's fucking stupid.
Who put the phone on their hand? Anyways,
It's your fault, parents. Oh, but enough of this rant, though. Dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
People are gonna fucking hate us for this, but
That's fine.
I'm just saying, like, this ending, the coulda, woulda, shoulda for this show is a lot. Like, it's very high. Like, it could have, it would have been just so much better had they just given more time to this show.
I'll be honest. I was
Give
ready
us like
to
12 more. Give us like at least 12 more episodes. Like, oh my dude, imagine what you could do with just 12 more.
I was ready for this to be my number one. I'll be honest. I was ready for this to be like to take my number one spot, just because how everything was laid out, how deep, how thick the plot was, and like all the different character dynamics and everything. It's also probably because I've been, again, the biggest stan. I've been trying to get people to watch it. Been telling them, hey, just hold out. It's gonna be great. Now I have to just don't watch the ending.
Bite your tongue.
It's like, ooh. But if I can go into a theory, and I think maybe slight I'm not gonna hold too tight onto this, but somewhere in the back of my mind, so they just started doing a light novel adaptation of this, right? I think if they can either make an OVA or a different series that's not airing on TV, or with the light novel tell the story that they wanted to tell, what they can do is when Suletta kind of like first blacks out from the data storm, what if that's just like a dream?
Oh, like the whole Walking Dead thing, like where everything's
Yeah.
in a dream and Rick wakes up.
Yeah,
And then
because like that would
retcon
be,
everything.
that would be perfect. A perfect way to retcon. I'm hoping
I thought you were
somewhere.
gonna talk about. Oh, go ahead, finish your thought.
No, I was hoping somewhere that would be a good pivotal point to like say, oh, here's what really happened.
That's if Netflix takes over. I'm pretty sure they'll do that. No, but you were gonna talk about Avery, like the fat guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you said that there was.
Oh.
You were thinking that there was gonna be like an OVA. Maybe we'll get closure on his character or some shit.
I said that.
Yeah, earlier you said like, or is this what you were talking about? Like how you?
No, this is what I was talking about.
Oh,
That
okay.
I'm hoping that they can fix what was,
Yeah,
stolen from us.
yeah. I
What we were
was
robbed
hoping,
of.
I was hoping he would get killed, but surprisingly he lived. But no, not every villain gets killed, so he got lucky. But I mean, as we come to an end, man, like I mean, I'm pretty sure.
I can keep going on
Yeah,
this forever, but
I'm sure
so
we can
you
go
have to
on
stop
forever
me.
with this rant, because again, the more we rant about this, it makes me more like, it makes me not appreciate the show overall. Because I love this. I love this show.
I still love the show.
I just
We'll get over it. We're gonna get over it.
it just left
think-
it just left a really bad taste in our mouths. But overall,
I'm telling you,
it's good.
it was in the number 4 on my anime list. It was on the number 4 spot. Right now, it is. It actually moved up a little bit.
Was it?
It was
it
it was number
TV series?
4. Now it's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Damn. Wasn't it like number
yeah.
6 last week?
Yeah, it was
I
like
know-
6 last week, and it dropped down, but it moved back up a little bit. So, but yeah, it was number 4 on. I mean, granted, I know my anime list isn't the best metric to judge whether or not how popular or how well liked it is, but it's just to show how much people just did not like the ending.
Yeah. It's a general.
No,
Yeah.
nobody liked it. Maybe
So it's
the
not
only-
just us.
the only people who liked it was the people who
Was the parents that are complaining about the
no.
how play the
It was the shippers, because
Oh,
I've always been
yeah,
telling
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
it has romance elements to it, but it's
That's not
not
the main plot.
like okay, like Hiro never ends up with
Duo.
Relina or Duo either. Hiro never ends up with Relina. Setsuna never really ends up with what's her name, the princess from of Azaristan from 00. So it's like you don't really ever see them like run off happily ever after in that sense. Like at least the romantic elements of it,
But they had this.
But
and
they had. And I don't know if you saw it, but they had rings.
yeah. And
They
I
had
mean,
rings, and they were like clinging on to each other. and
I
everything.
was joking with Lynn and Bobby, like Miorni is the one that wears the pants in their relationship. Like because she's in the suit, so she's the alpha of
Yeah,
between
and
her
then
Suletta.
and Suletta wants to build a school. I'm like, only couldn't be a man. So that was a joke, but it's considering the
but that's what like
gender
a lot,
stereotypes.
but that's what like really it was also, I mean, as much of it wasn't a big plot, but it was also enough to make people, it made it interesting enough for people to watch it because of this like romanticized part of the show. Like it wasn't like heavily implied throughout the whole show. Like they weren't focused on that solely, but towards the
No,
end
they weren't.
Yeah,
It was supposed to
But-
be like a supportive element. It's supposed to give
Yeah.
the two of them a reason to fight. They're not trying to end up with each other. They're trying to help each other accomplish their goals. Their
Yeah,
their
but
goal
then-
isn't to get married. Their goal is to achieve each other's goals.
yeah. But then towards the
There's a
end,
difference.
they get together, and then like that's like you said, that's different from all the other Gundam endings because they don't really
just-
have that.
I just hate it because I've said to so many people online that, like, you know, it's not about the romance, it's not about the marriage, it's not about them being in a relationship. It's about the story. That
The
element
overall
plays into the
plot,
story.
Yeah, the overall
But-
plot is achieving peace, but you know, the
'Cause the-
subplot. It's just the subplot. It's there.
Yeah, because with the plot this like complex, deep, with layers and like so many different different characters and their own arcs in there and their own developments, and then, you know, I want to go to the forums and talk about that, but then you have some people saying, "Oh, are they together yet? Are they gonna get married yet?" I'm like,
That's not the point of the show.
talk about the good stuff. Talk about the meat of the show. It's like so much good stuff is happening, but all you're looking for is just, are they gonna kiss? It's like, oh my god.
Yes, because that'll make the show so much better if they kiss. Watch that shit happen. Like they kiss and then goes from like number 9 to number 1, all because of that.
A lot of people were saying that, like, the only reason why they didn't have a wedding in the finale is because China.
Yo,
Because they have to appease, you know, the Chinese viewership too. So
I mean that's going on with a lot of like movies and shows now.
mhm.
I mean,
Just
side
a lot
tangent,
of-
like when you look at Spider-Man, like the issues of Spider-Man right now, like with the United Arabic group, like the Middle East, how they don't let the Spider-Man get played over there, and even like some of the Disney issues, like there's certain movies that they don't allow in China because of that. Like it's
Well, because
I mean-
think of all the. There's so much like IP coming out now, and we can
Yeah.
probably talk about this off camera or another time. But there's so much IP right now that's just kind of like very LGBTQ plus. You know, it's just very to the point where, like, It's easier to count the ones that are not that, you know, that are not geared for an LGBTQ plus audience. Not that there's a problem with it. It's just kind of a general fact that a lot of it is
there's
you
gonna
know,
be a lot of
coming
that
out.
implied in shows.
Yeah.
And then like you can't be mad if there's like certain countries that don't want to watch it because they're not used to seeing that.
Yeah.
So like it's not a surprise. It would not be a surprise if like again like if China or the Middle East like don't let their viewership watch Gundam, you know, because of things like that. So like as an audience, we got to be wary. We got to know that like there are certain countries or there's certain places that as much as we love these shows, they are not going to exceed what we want from these shows because of those regulations. You know, like
Right.
again, like Demon Slayer, the reason why it's internationally loved so much because it's playing everywhere. Like everyone loves it. But like Gundam, it's not gonna have that same level because it's only gonna be played in limited places. So, you know, just a general thought for folks who, you know, again, who are shipping these relationships. That's not the point of the show, but it's
I got no problem. Like
subplot.
I love them too. I'm happy that they're together.
great.
But
It's not the point of the show.
it's the story. It's like it's like the people who like read the books but don't read the books. They're just flipping through the pages to look for the pictures. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is so cool. It's like you missed the whole point of the story. It's like
Yeah, so I mean, like again,
I
it's,
get
it's
worked up
still
over
it's
that.
still it's still a part of the story. It's just not the main plot, you know.
and I
So
think they're great. I think they complement each other really great. And still, one of my favorite scenes is I replay it all the time. But I think episode 11 of season 1, when Siletta's in the bathroom and Miorine catches her, and then they do the whole chase scene. Like the way that was animated, and then just them being vulnerable with each other. Like that,
yeah,
that was
why
one of my.
don't you just want to talk to me? And like they're kind of like because it was like when Soletta was afraid to talk to Miorine about her problems.
Well, it's because Elon 5 got into Miorina's head and got into Suletta's head, saying that like, oh, right now you're just an asset to Miorine. As soon as she
She's gonna let you go
finds,
once she's done.
as soon as she doesn't have a use for you anymore, you're done. So that's when Suletta started acting. She started going overboard and trying to prove herself, but at the same time, Miorina was way too busy to, running a company. So she felt kind of like, inadequate. And the part of the reason I connect with that is because I've felt that way before. But then it was also
And then
very.
It's very
cute to
wholesome.
see. Yeah.
So because you see Miorine comfort Suletta in that way, and I like that. That part, like it showed you their relationship dynamic. Like, they both care for each other. It just, like most relationships, that there's going to be ups and downs, and you're going to doubt whether this person truly likes you or not. And I like that in this show. Like again, like you said, the animation, how they were chasing each other and just floating in space. Like they were like talking it out.
It also showed like for the first time it showed like Miorina's like actual feelings, because she was like in my favorite, the tsundere fashion, she was pretty much saying like, you're the reason why I didn't make it to Earth. Like if you didn't come and give me all this like, move forward gain 2 stuff, she's kind of like, this is your fault, you got me into this.
Well, that I like you so much.
But then she's like, but you also gave me like the Gundam Corporation. You gave me a way to where I don't have to run from my problems. I can face my problems, head on. Because she before that she was just running. So I think that was very cute and
backhanded compliments and shit.
Backhanded compliments. And she like. Domestic abuse punches Suletta.
Toxic as fuck. I like you so much. No, but
that was still one of my favorite scenes. I still watch that clip periodically, so I'm not against him.
Like just saying. No, but to add things here, Michael, man, thank you for being on the show, man.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Dude, it's been great to geek out about Gundam, man. Like editing episodes and like trying to figure out when to drop episodes. I was like, man, because honestly, I mean, this episode is gonna be, by the time this episode drops, it's gonna be like time will pass by the time
right. I know you got a lot going on, so.
But I'm saying, like, I'm talking about like in the order of episodes I was dropping. This episode I was gonna drop like way later, but I was like, man, after that, and again, not the shit on the ending, but like because the show ended at this time, I was like, I gotta talk about this.
I've kind of been. I talked to Philip about it a little bit. But I've been holding it in too, because I just really need to, like. I thank you for having me on, because I really needed to like talk about the series. I loved this. I still love the series so much. It still has some of my most like jaw dropping. Very few anime has or shows have made me like get as hype as I have with this show. Partially, because I did invest in it and the story is written so well. So I do, as a fan, I do have the right to criticize the way it ended. Although as I'm criticizing it, I still love the show. I still love the characters. I'll remember all the journey that we went through in their own arcs. So.
Yeah. So overall, man, again, I loved it. I love the show. Like, it's just, we got to nitpick on things that we didn't enjoy, but overall, it was great. It was good, and hopefully we can talk about more shows. I know that we were. I don't. Did I talk about this? Like how I wanted to do like for our next review thing. Like we were just gonna do like quick chops of like certain shows.
Yeah, kind of like
wrap it up all in one type of deal.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna that episode won't be anytime soon, because like I think after this episode, I'm recording the Bullet Train episode tomorrow. Finally talking about Bullet Train after like a whole ass year, and then I'm doing Spider-Verse reviews, and then I'm also interviewing Phil Parsons, the voice of Nappa from Dragon Ball Z, and then I guess I can say this on this episode because it's not going to drop anytime soon, but hopefully, if it does happen, I was speaking with the voice actor for Diluc, Sean Chiplock. He voices Diluc, Subaru from Ray Zero. He's in some other good stuff too. So, he's actually he just talking about Final Fantasy because I was playing that earlier. He's Nero from Final Fantasy, Nero the Sable. So,
really?
yeah. So that'd be a good topic to talk about.
Dope.
So yeah, so I'm excited
Just
for that.
make-
Hopefully I get him on the show.
Just make sure you get it's time for retribution.
Oh yeah, I know. I was gonna I was thinking about that. Like, should I get him to say that for the drop, like the audio drop?
That's-
Yeah, and then I think there's him, and then yeah, then like I'm getting pretty close to like because I might take I want to take a break around episode 175, but I've got episodes lined up to like the end of the year already. So
That's
I
good,
don't-
man.
yeah,
That's good. You got your work cut out.
yeah, so we'll see what happens. But other than that, make sure you follow Michael on Instagram. The links will be in the description. Go check out his stuff. You don't have commissions open yet, do you? Or do you have commissions open?
I guess I can announce it here. I'll probably make the announcement
Before.
before this comes out. But yeah, I actually am open for commissions. Yeah, hit me up on Instagram. The links are below. Art by Kouki. I have my commission sheet, or you can just DM me, message me, and let's talk and work something out. I love to draw pictures for you. So
Yeah. And go check out Michael's Instagram too, because that's where you see his progress too. So I actually like I like your Honkai thing you're working on right now. But I know there's a lot of waifus to be drawn now, since every
So
season
much.
there's more and more waifus.
Yeah, I'm working on my Himiko. I have a Kafka on the way, and then after that, I'm gonna be doing a Mitsuri Kanroji piece, and then I'm thinking I've been really wanting to do a Yoruichi and or Mirko from
From
My Hero.
Bleach? Oh, okay.
Oh, Yoruichi from Bleach, but Mirko from
From My Hero. Okay. Yeah.
Just the, I'm slightly dark skinned. I kind of like the dark skin.
Yeah, no, those are cool, man. Like those will definitely Mirko for sure will sell because everyone loves
Yeah.
Mirko. But it depends though, like how you want to draw her. Because do you want to draw her before or after her fights? Because I think after minor spoiler here, like because she loses her arm and her leg, so like you want to draw her like with her prosthetics or no prosthetics. So like
Probably no prosthetics, unless I'm really trying to push myself as an artist to like I see some really cool artists who are able to like draw like either like the mech attachments or like cyberpunk kind of like prosthetics. Really good. I'm not at that level yet.
You should check out like one of the covers. I think one of the My Hero volume covers has her like with her prosthetic arm, and
I've seen it. Yeah.
yeah, it's really good. No, I was thinking that like you were gonna draw like Prospera or Murone eventually. That or
I will say this about the show. You've heard me talk about Cecilia. And then the time skip. It's like, yes. Because she's like she's in a business suit and she's got the chains and the earrings. I'm like, she looks like a boss. I'm like, man, she's got that badass like shot collar energy. And I'm like, I that one would be just solely because I want to. I know she's probably not going to get a lot of attention. But like I would personally want to do that. That's on the back burner though.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's pretty much covers everything, man. Like so I'll probably have you back on for the the other anime review episode, unless you want to jump on the Demon Slayer one, because I think I'm trying to get Sharon from Sharon Stuff podcast to talk about Demon Slayer. So I don't know if you'll have time for that one or not, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know when. I might want to, because I have takes on.
Because I know you binged it versus watching it week by week like I did.
Yeah, I have some takes, some maybe hot takes. But yeah, let me know when you're gonna do that. I'll let you know if I can hop on that.
Okay. Well, again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Spoiler Force. Follow Michael on Instagram. Links will be below. This is episode 168. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to give a review and rate Spoiler Force Podcast. If you want to get all Spoiler Force updates or even peeks at behind the scenes, you can join the Spoiler Force Discord community. And if you'd like to show support, give tips, recommendations, sponsorships, or any collaborations, you can email me at rickyvang92@gmail.com.